The crystalline chamber of the Galactic Council fell silent as Ambassador Abigail Chen stepped forward, her boots echoing against the translucent floor. Around her, representatives from 73 species shifted uncomfortably in their various forms of seating. The holographic display behind her showed Earth small, blue, and unremarkable by galactic standards. The human delegation requests authorization to engage in military operations, Abigail announced, her voice steady and clear. The council chamber erupted. Councillor Vexther, a towering Croxian with 6 compound eyes, rose from his seat. Preposterous. Humans have been members of this council for barely 3 cycles. Your species lacks the technological advancement, the military tradition, the treaty rights. Abigail interrupted smoothly that every member species possesses. Article 7, Section 3 clearly states, we know what it states. High Chancellor Mordata-S telepathic voice boomed through every translator in the room. The ancient Zenaria's form shimmered with agitation. But humans are a peaceful species. You have contributed, scientists, artists, diplomats. Never warriors. This is unprecedented. Abigail's jaw tightened. The Kreven swarm has destroyed 17 colonies in the Outer Rim. 12 million sentients dead. Your peacekeeping forces have retreated from every engagement. Strategic repositioning, Vexther corrected stiffly. Cowardice, Abigail said flatly. We call it cowardice. The chamber descended into chaos. Half the delegates were shouting, their translators creating a cacophony of outrage. The other half sat in stunned silence. Humans didn't speak like this. Humans were the species that brought music to the council chambers, that mediated disputes, that studied alien cultures with genuine fascination. Humans weren't warriors. On the Earth battleship Indomitable, Captain Christopher Kane reviewed the tactical displays one final time. The ship was a human design crewed by galactic standards, built with human hands and human ingenuity rather than the elegant nanofabrication the other species preferred. Sir, the Council is still in session, Lieutenant Morrison reported. Ambassador Chen is facing significant opposition. Christopher nodded, his expression grim. She knew she would. They don't understand. Understand what, sir? That peace isn't our nature. It's our choice. Christopher pulled up the holographic display showing Earth's history, a blood-soaked timeline of conflict stretching back millennia. Every other species in this galaxy evolved in relative peace. The Croxians had no predators. The Zainari achieved sentience in crystal gardens where resources were abundant. The Velkan literally photosynthesize. They've never known hunger. He gestured to the timeline. Humans clawed our way to the top of the food chain on a death world. We fought ice ages, plagues, each other. We know war in a way they never will, and we chose to put it aside when we reached the stars. But now the Kreven have reminded us why we learned to fight in the first place. Christopher's eyes hardened. Not because we enjoy it, because sometimes it's necessary. Back in the council chamber, Abigail played her final card. With a gesture, she brought up footage from the Kreven attacks, the screaming, the dying, the children. The Velkan colony on Harvest Moon, population 300,000. Survivors 0. They sent distress signals for 14 hours while your fleets strategically repositioned. She turned to face the council directly. Humanity didn't come to the stars to be warriors. We came to leave that behind, but we remember how, and if you won't protect the innocent, we will. You'll start a war you cannot win, Modata warned. The Kreven swarm numbers in the billions. They have consumed worlds for eons. We're aware of the odds, Abigail replied. We're also aware that you've been fighting them for 30 years and losing. Humanity has been fighting for 300,000 years. We know what it takes to survive. Vextha laughed, a sound like grinding glass. Your primitive weapons, your outdated tactics, what can you possibly offer that our advanced fleets cannot? Abigail smiled, and it wasn't a pleasant expression. Humans don't just study war, counselor. We perfect it. We write poetry about it. We teach our children its lessons. Every human child learns about Alexander, Napoleon, Sun Tzu, Patton. War is our nightmare, which is precisely why we understand it better than anyone in this chamber. The holographic display changed, showing schematics of human military technology. Our ships are slower, our weapons less elegant. But we design them with one principle your species forgot. They need to work when everything is falling apart. When you're outgunned, outnumbered, and out of options. Christopher's voice crackled through the emergency council channel. Ambassador Chen, we're in position. The council members looked up in alarm as their sensors detected what their eyes couldn't believe the human fleet had positioned itself between the council homeworlds and the approaching Kreven vanguard. 70 ships against a swarm of thousands. You're committing suicide, Vextha breathed. We're buying you time, Abigail corrected. To evacuate. To prepare. To remember what it means to fight for something worth dying for. As the first wave of Kreven ships entered weapons range, Christopher addressed his crew. Remember why we're here. Not for glory, not for conquest. To protect those who can't protect themselves. That's what humans do. The Indomitable opened fire, and the galaxy learned a new lesson about humanity. They were peaceful. They were kind. They were curious and creative and compassionate. But when pushed, when innocent lives hung in the balance, humans remembered the warriors they chose not to be, and they went to war. The Battle of the Council Gates lasted 14 hours. When it ended, the Kreven vanguard was in retreat for the first time in 3 decades. 41 human ships were destroyed, but the Council homeworlds stood intact, and 23 species that had never known true fear finally understood what the humans had given up when they chose peace. In the aftermath, as rescue operations continued. Hi, Chancellor. Modata approached Ambassador Abigail Chen in the medical bay where she was being treated for injuries. We underestimated you, the ancient being admitted. Abigail looked up. Exhaustion etched into every line of her face. No, Chancellor. You just forgot that choosing peace and being incapable of war are very different things. Humans are peaceful because we know the cost of war. We paid it for millennia, and now we'll help you win this war. Then we'll go back to being poets and diplomats and scientists. She closed her eyes, because that's who we want to be. But we'll never forget who we can be, if we must. The galaxy was shocked when humans went to war, but the Kreven swarm learned to fear when they discovered why humanity had tried so hard to leave war behind, because when they fought, they didn't just win battles, they ended threats forever.